A lot of discourse this week, man, regarding that AEW main event. Swerve and Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley retains the AEW World Championship. Your boys, the Bucks of Youth, make their return, and they help Jon Moxley and defeat Swerve. A lot of fans were on the fence to negative about this. My Patreon, for example, who is generally pretty pro AEW, was not into this at all. They're your boys, the Bucks, but I know you're not immune to constructive criticism or feedback. What did you make of how this all played out here?
Well, I haven't officially seen it. I have seen the clips, obviously, on social media. And as I'd said last week before we ever got to the pay-per-view event, I feel it's one of those times where, the Death Riders thing, it is pretty much ran its course. I love Jon Moxley. I think in many ways, Jon Moxley is the heart and soul of AEW. I think he has busted his ass for AEW. I think he has worked as hard as he possibly can to make everything work and be as good as it possibly can. I just think this particular recreation of Jon Moxley as the leader of the Death Riders and kind of what they're doing. I think it's the whole group in general about what they're doing and their mission and how, I don't know. I don't necessarily understand their whole mission at AEW. What are they trying to accomplish? But I think we're at one of those points where it is time to move on and segue to whatever the next top story is going to be in AEW. And that's nothing personally against Jon Moxley. He busts his ass. He works really hard. He takes these crazy risks and he puts it on the line for AEW week in and week out, no doubt. But I think it is time to go a different direction. Try and start something new that could possibly catch fire. AEW really, really, really needs something to get hot and catch fire to kind of get their momentum back, I think.
So who's the guy then to take it from him?
It's interesting. I mean, I know you're all in on Will Ospreay, and I understand that. And Will Ospreay can obviously be a possibility. It's just I'm curious of what direction they go with him, but besides being the greatest wrestler in the world, like I'm just curious of what story they will create besides him being the greatest wrestler in the world.
I mean, I'll give you right now, just even on the surface, it doesn't even need to be a crazy story here. Will Ospreay embodies everything that AEW is supposed to be, right? He's this great wrestler. He's got the great personality. People love him. People connect with him. He's a great storyteller. He's what wrestling is supposed to be. Jon Moxley is vehemently against everything that AEW is. So
he's what wrestling. He's everything wrestling is supposed to be in AEW. I would say
for the company, so for the promotion, whatever. Okay, but if Will Ospreay as is right now, Matt would be one of the biggest stars in WWE without any tweaks. So I don't buy that. Just he's only AEW. If Will Ospreay walked into WWE right now or to TNA right now, if the exact same presentation, nothing different, he'd still be one of the top guys. So he would be a big star, but I think WWE, they would definitely change his presentation. They would try and sink their teeth into him and give him more substance than he has as a character. That is my personal opinion. Even going back and I'd watched the Penta and Phoenix debuts. I like how they gave them both separate entrances, and I really like how Penta had came in and he's already viewed as a superstar now because he's got this cool entrance and he's done his thing and they know who he is. I love that they brought Phoenix in on his own because I felt like if you'd brought them in and tagged them immediately, Penta would have been here and Phoenix would have been here. So I love the fact that they're going to get Phoenix up to that same level and then they can come back together. And their money is as a team. I'm good with that too. I don't have an issue with that, but I don't know. I think Ospreay is, my opinion, I think Ospreay is pretty much perfect in how he's presented, regardless of the promotion he's in. But my point being here, he stands for everything that AEW is supposed to be, and Jon Moxley hates what AEW is in character, right? So that alone is good enough to serve as your story. He's defending the guard versus the guy who's trying to take it down. And if he wins the Owen Hart Cup, which I think he's probably going to, doing that match at All In and having his crowning moment at the biggest show of the year, that seems like a money move to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. I definitely think it's something like I wouldn't have hated it if Christian would have won the title. I think Christian would have been great as a champion for a short amount of time, and build him up big, get him truly hated because he was like a legitimate heel, and then have him do something with Ospreay and have Ospreay win it or whatever. But I just think we're at that point where they need to take a different approach and go a different direction right now as opposed to the Death Riders, because I think the AEW fans, especially, I think they're pretty much done with it.